What's up, fellas? You've got big goals, and this is something that can be a huge game changer for you if you're not familiar. So maybe you're tackling your goals and you find that you're lacking a little bit of focus, or you're a bit tired and low energy, you're anxious, you're stressed, and so you're not getting things done that you want to get done. This is going to help give you good tools in your toolkit to be able to get out of those situations so that you can then operate and do the things that you want to do. So today we're actually going to be talking about 4 different types of breath work and meditation to be able to tackle these things in various situations and showing you exactly how to do it. Now, this isn't anything like new age hokey. We're not going to be going into like third eye chakras or transcendentalism or anything like that. It's just a really practical guide for something that's going to be very useful for you, that's going to help very quick to help you overcome things like stress, anxiety, lack of focus, and being tired, and really just go and get things done. I'm Angel with The Modern Man. Let's get to it. Quick side note before we get rolling here. So meditation and breathwork are very powerful. They're so good at reducing stress, increasing focus, and a lot of excellent benefits. However, it can be a bit of a cover-up if you're not tackling other things first. So if you're majorly incongruent in that you are saying that you're going to do things and you don't do them multiple times, and you kind of lie to yourself, and your thoughts don't align with your actions, there's really nothing you can do that's going to really overcome that. It's kind of like a band-aid and sort of an illusion where it'll temporarily help, but it doesn't actually fix the problem. So it's so important to get down to, at its core, what is causing issues with you, might be causing that anxiety or stress, and trying to tackle that before relying completely on these sort of things to take care of it. And also, meditation, it's not something that takes a whole lot of time out of your day. It's not something that you need to do every single day or anything like that. However, if you're someone who is relying on meditation or breath work for upwards of 20, 30 minutes every single day, rather than being super beneficial for you, it really can be a sort of escapism, and you're just using it to escape how you feel in the moment because it feels good once you complete a meditation or breath work. But it really is just holding you back if you're doing something like that. So for number 1, this is absolutely my favorite. It is immediately gratifying, and it is best used for relieving stress. It's very acute. It happens very quickly that it helps with that. Another one is for getting a nice boost of energy, especially to start your day with, and then having just greater overall feelings of well-being and relaxation. This is the Wim Hof method, also known as cyclical hyperventilation. So we're not talking about the cold showers or anything like that, just specifically the breath work that gets covered under this. Here's exactly how you do it. It's best to do this on an empty stomach, otherwise you don't get as deep of breaths and you don't get as much of a positive effect as a result. So what you're gonna do for this is preferably lay down, but you could do it sitting up as well. And you're gonna breathe about 30 times initially. So you're gonna breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and you're going to do it relatively quickly, kind of at a pace like this. And when you breathe in, you want to try to really breathe in through the stomach first, and then have it fill the chest up to the neck, and then release. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, or out through your nose. I personally think it's best if you do through your nose the entire time, but it doesn't really matter. You'll feel a great effect either way that you go ahead and do it. Now, when you get to about 30 of these breaths, at the 30th one, when you exhale, you're going to exhale fully, and from there, when you're fully exhaled, you're going to hold your breath for 30 seconds initially, maybe a little bit more. It seems like a long time, but you'd be surprised at how much you could push your limits on this, and there's some good guided meditations of this online that I would definitely recommend going through, and you can start with some of the easier versions where you're maybe doing a little bit less breaths and you're holding your breath for not that long and help you get used to it, but you'll be surprised after a few sessions how long you'll be able to hold your breath. At the end of that 30 seconds, you're then going to do a deep breath. And you're going to hold that breath in for about 15 seconds. At the end of that 15 seconds, you're going to release. And then you're going to start that cycle of that 30 breaths over again. And you're going to do this for about 3 sets. If you want it to be a little bit more intense, you could do about 4 sets. So overall, it ends up taking about 10 minutes. And around the second and third set, after you hold that breath, you're going to feel almost like you're kind of high. It's this really nice, at peace type of sensation. Is really calm and relaxing. And when you finish the whole thing, it's very difficult to describe. You just feel this sense of calm. And so I like to rely on this whenever I wake up and maybe I'm a little bit tired and I want a little bit of energy to get me through my day. Or sometimes you wake up and you just feel a little off, maybe you woke up mid-sleep cycle, you're a little shaky, a little bit of anxious, and this really is going to help out with that. As you go through your second and third set of breath holds, the idea is that you are increasing the amount of holds. So like a good beginner one would be to start with initially holding for 30 seconds, and then you bump up to 60 seconds, and then you bump up to a minute and a half. On the last one, I like to see how long I can hold it and really try to break a record there. On the second and third time you hold your breath, you're ideally increasing that time limit that you're doing this. So the sample routine would be 30 seconds of the breathing. When you breathe out, you're going to hold your breath for 30 seconds. Breathe in, hold it for 15 seconds. Do 30 more breaths. But then this time, when you're holding your breath after breathing out, you're going to do it for a minute. And then the next time, you're going to do it for a minute and a half, or just until as long as you can hold it. I think that's the best way to go about doing it. And as you get used to it, you'll keep increasing your time, and you'll be surprised that when you start to get to be able to hold your breath for even 3 minutes, for example. So the next one is going to be called Physiological Sighing. I actually wasn't familiar with this until Andrew Huberman started talking about it. And there was data that he covered saying that when compared to 5 minutes of meditation or 5 minutes of other types of breath work, it outperformed in terms of relaxation, in terms of stress reduction. So the benefit of a physiological sigh is that you can do it anywhere. You don't have to lie down. You're not going to get too many weird looks if you're doing it out somewhere. But it's very quick, so it's a good way to, if you just really quickly need to feel better, really want to reduce stress or anxiety, you can do it right then and there because it takes less than 5 minutes to actually do it and feel a benefit. I personally don't find as deep of a benefit as when I use Wim Hof. That is for me, a better feeling of well-being that lasts for a little bit longer. But again, that is at least double the time to do that than the physiological sighing. But here's how you do it. Really easy tutorial on this one. You're going to breathe in through your nose twice, and you're going to do it quickly, especially on the second breath. So, and then you're going to release and exhale through your mouth, nice and slow. And you're going to do that 3 to 5 times to really start feeling benefits. And it's recommended to do it for about 5 minutes a day for really good ongoing benefits. But again, and even doing it there, I feel a bit relaxed just doing that demonstration for a second. For more great content on optimizing your looks, your mood, your performance, any of that, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. I love answering questions, so shoot them in the comments if you have anything, and I'll be sure to get to you. But other than that, let's get back to it. So I think those first 2 ones are excellent if you want to get quick relief and you want to try this and have that immediate gratification. The next one we're going to be getting into is meditation. So meditation has fantastic benefits. However, on that first meditation, you might not feel like it was the most amazing thing in the world. You might think, why did I do that? I don't really feel anything. I don't feel that any good well-being. But it's something that over time has fantastic benefits, especially when it comes to focus, but it also helps with stress relief as well. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat when it comes to meditation and a lot of different practices for it. So duration-wise, you're looking at anywhere from about 5 minutes a day. Even 3 minutes is okay, but 5 minutes is where there's some good data around things like reducing stress and increasing focus. All the way up to about 15 minutes, there's still a lot of really good data out there supporting the benefits of meditation for that duration. And I find, and most people I speak with find, that the more consecutive days that you're doing meditation is the more benefits that you start getting. What I think is the best reason for using meditation is to increase focus. I'm someone with ADHD, and I found that the more I started doing meditation, the easier it began for me to focus on tasks with or without meds. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe. Close your eyes is a good one. They don't have to be closed, but that's how a lot of people will go about doing it. Just sit down somewhere comfortable, and you're going to breathe in and out, nice and slow. And different things that you could do during that, you can count your breaths. You can try to focus on a spot. So a common one is going to be to focus right here around the forehead and see how long that you can hold your focus on that point for. And for a lot of beginners, it might feel like you're doing it all wrong because you try to focus and immediately you're thinking about cats or whatever you have to do for the day, and it just throws you off. But this is actually a good thing because it means that you have a lot to benefit when it comes to meditation, because every single time that you're going off task and you're catching yourself go off task and bringing your attention back to either your breath or the point that you're focusing on, you are improving and you're getting better at focusing. So this is absolutely a good thing. And over time, you're going to get better and better, where initially it might be hard to focus for even 1 to 2 seconds, eventually you'll be able to hold that focus for 10, 20, 30 plus seconds. And so generally you'll do this for, again, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. Another thing that you could do is what's called a body scan. So when you are breathing in and focusing on your breath, you start to think about all the parts of your body and what you can feel. Maybe you could feel a little bit of your hair blowing in the wind in the room, a certain sensation on your skin, how your eyes might feel a little bit dry, or something with your lips. And you start going down and slowly trying to feel every individual piece of your body and all the sensations, your heart beating, the blood flowing through your veins, how your fingers feel, how your back feels against the chair, the up and down sensation of when you're breathing and all your contact with the earth, the bottom of your feet. And really digging into that is a good way to get into focus. And then another one I used to like to do is also trying to focus on my hearing, and the same thing, really trying to pinpoint, hear everything that you can. What can you hear in your apartment? What can you hear outside? And really just focusing on something. At the end of the day, this is about focusing on your breath, focusing on a point, or just focusing in general. And that's why this helps to build focus over time. A potential good way to get started initially, because it can feel a little weird, it can feel like you're not doing it right, is to start with a guided meditation. There's a lot of these available on YouTube, but there's different apps like the Insight Timer app, to Headspace, to Synctuition, and there's a whole bunch of them. But they all generally do the same thing, where someone is going to guide you and tell you, okay, now we're going to focus on your breath. Hey, make sure you're still focusing on your breath, bringing you back to that. And it can help. I found myself, even the other week, I've been doing this for a while, and I found that I was having trouble focusing, and then going to a guided meditation as opposed to just doing it myself was able to help me get back into focusing again. Now this last one is called box breathing. It's really straightforward. For 4 seconds, you're going to be doing every part of the breath cycle. So you're going to breathe in for about 4 seconds. Let's say that was 4 seconds. You're going to hold your breath at the top for about 4 seconds. When you exhale, you're going to exhale for 4 seconds, nice and slow. And then when you're completely exhaled, you're going to relax and wait there for about 4 seconds and then start that cycle over again. So this is particularly helpful, just like the other breath work, for stress relief and calming you down. I find this one particularly helpful when it's time to go to bed and you're having issues sleeping. So if I'm really having trouble sleeping, I'll go ahead and do box breaths to calm myself, and that about 50% of the time helps me fall asleep shortly after, if I'm having, my thoughts are racing or anything like that. So that would be the one that I would recommend if you need help sleeping and want some quick relief and calmness. All right, fellas, definitely try some of these out. I can promise you that you're going to see some good results from doing this. It's not something you need to obsess about and, oh my God, I have to do this every single day. It's helpful when you do them consistently, but I find that they're best used when you feel like you want to use them and you want to do these things, versus I need to do this, and you don't feel guilty about it. I'm going to have a demo of each one of these practices at the end of the video, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like from start to finish. And again, any questions that you might have on any of these, how to do it, any tips or how it feels, drop them in the comments and I'll definitely answer those for you. But that wraps us up. Really appreciate you rocking with me. I'm Angel with The Modern Man, and until next time, adios.